Hey guys, it's Prisca the Grad, and you're welcome to my YouTube channel. Okay, so this is a follow-up video to my level up story. My first ever video I posted on YouTube. A lot of people wanted a breakdown. They wanted to know, how did you move to the United States of America to pursue your master's? How did you do it? What was the process? How did you get a fully funded scholarship to do your master's abroad? Everyone was asking me that they wanted a breakdown, and I said I was going to do this video and I was going to break down the process. So if you are watching this video now, make sure you watch till the end, and if you have questions, you can drop them in the comment sections. If you want me to do from this video, if you have you want me to do another video explaining another process or something that you want to know about, please let me know in the comment section as well. I am here, like I said, to share my journey, my story. If you're thinking about pursuing your studies abroad or furthering your studies abroad, especially United States of America, then you should know that there are 3 phases to this journey. First of all, you have the admission application phase, then you have the visa application process phase, and then finally you have the travel phase. And at these different phases, I personally needed a lot of help with these phases. I needed to know what was required. I needed to know how to go about it, and I feel like it's very important as well. In as much as you can do this on your own, I still feel like you need to know what is required. You need to know the processes to follow. You need to know what you need to do, and if you do not know what you need to do, then somehow you're going to get things wrong in one way or the other. And so this video is going to be talking about what do you need, how can you find a school, how are you going to apply to the school, what are the requirements, how do you go about it. Please, people have been someone asked me, who is your plug? I don't have any plug. Jesus is the only plug that I know. Please stop looking for a plug. You can do this on your own. You can apply to a school. You can find a school and apply to a school on your own. You can get your admission and your funding offer on your own. You don't need anyone to do that for you. If you want someone to do it for you, if you need someone to do that, that's fine. But it's not something that you need. It's not difficult. I mean, did you need a plug to apply to university for your undergrad? I'm sure you did not need a plug for that. You went to the cyber cafe, or you went somewhere else, or you used your phone or your laptop to apply, and you went to write the exams, you submitted documents, and you got your admission to your school. So the same is applicable here. You do not need a plug. Stop asking me about don't ask me about plug. There's no plug. You can do it on your own. These 3 phases, you need to know that for the different phases, there are things you need to do. There are requirements. Definitely money is going to be spent. There's no how, in as much as you're looking at getting a scholarship or a funding offer where you don't have to fund your own studies, but still for the application phase you have to spend some money. For the visa application, you have to pay fees that require money. For your travel phase, obviously you have to pay your flights, you have to things like that. You have to prepare. So before you start this process, please prepare your mind and let your mind just know that you're going to spend money. Okay, so let me talk about the application stage, because I don't want this video to be too long. So I'll try to be very in-depth with give details to the application stage, and then as well I'll move on to a bit of the visa application stage as well. And then if there is a need to do another video to break down the process, I would definitely want to do that. To my story, I went on Google. I googled schools that offer communications. That's what I wanted to study. I looked at the requirements. For instance, if you want to study cybersecurity, you look at the school's cybersecurity program on the website. Each school and each program in each school has a website. I went through the website. I looked at the requirements. I looked at the even the courses, actually I also looked at the kind of courses I would be doing, because I needed to know if, okay, this is something that tallies with what I actually wanted to do, because each program is tailored in such a way that they are different. Like, it could either be a very, like, for instance, communication, there was communication studies and there was communication, and there is communications and marketing. So you need to look at the program and understand how it's structured, if it's going to give you what you want at the end of the day. So basically, I was on the program website for each school that I looked at, and then you see the requirements. This is when you know that this is what they want. Usually it's an IELTS. The major requirements is usually an IELTS proficiency exam, or like the other alternatives to IELTS, like the TOEFL, and some of them ask for Duolingo, which is pretty much easy to do. Another requirement is you must write a statement of purpose. That is, like, to me, it's even like the statement of purpose is what's going to give the program coordinator, or like the panel of admission people, it's going to give them a look into you, who you are, your goals, why you want to do the course, why you chose the school. It's very important. Another requirement most of the time would be for a course by course evaluation. Now, what is a course by course evaluation? You've gone to school, your bachelor's, you have your transcript. Some schools will require you to send that transcript to an evaluation body, and there are different evaluation bodies. There's the West, there's CE something, I can't remember at the moment. So some schools will ask that you send your transcript to this evaluation body, and then they'll do a course by course evaluation. So when you see these schools and you see the different programs you want in schools, there'll be requirements that probably you cannot meet, or you need to like do an exam. And if you feel like you cannot meet the requirements, you either try to get those requirements that they ask for, or you move on to a school that doesn't require a course by course evaluation and things like that. Another requirement most of the time is GMAT exams. Some schools or some programs will ask that you write a GMAT or a GRE. My program did not require that from me, honestly, because I really started my application during like the post-COVID period. So most of the schools were waiving the GRE GMAT option. So I knew that I wanted to get a fully funded offer. I knew that I wanted to, apart from just knowing that I wanted a fully funded offer, I knew I wanted to get a graduate assistantship. So a graduate assistantship is it's like a job opportunity for students, graduate students. It's an opportunity for you to work while you study, and you work in the field of your study, or you do some kind of work that is related. And there are three kinds of graduate assistantship. There's like the research assistantship, there is the teaching assistantship, and then the professional assistantship. I'm going to do there's so much I need to talk about, and I don't know if one video would actually address all these things, but this is something that is very important, because people sometimes think that getting a fully funded offer is a scholarship. No, that is something that I need to, it's like a myth that I need to like talk about. Scholarship can be anything. $1,000 is a scholarship, $600 is a scholarship. You know, a scholarship is just like a fee that, you know, it could be full, except it's full, but like if the cost of your program is like $35,000, you can get a $6,000 scholarship. That is still a scholarship. So, but if you get a graduate assistantship, which is an opportunity for you to work while you study, it comes most of the time, I would say most of the time, because there are actually graduate assistantships that do not come with a fully funded like tuition, you know, like a tuition waiver. But most graduate assistantships come with a tuition waiver. So what does that mean? It means that so far as you're working as a graduate assistantship in the school, your schooling, your tuition and your fees is going to be paid by the school. You don't need to worry about that. You don't need to bother about that. You don't need to pay that. How cool is that? I wasn't going to write a GRE, so I felt like, okay, let me do some kind of exam that is going to like differentiate me from other applicants. So I made sure I wrote my IELTS, and my statement of purpose. I had to write that one, and I had to put in there things that, you know, talk about like what motivated me to study the program, why I like the school, what my like future career goals were about, you know, stuff like that. Something compelling, like a story, make it personalized. Then the third requirement was what? Yes, I'm forgetting this. This to me is one of the most important. So you need 3 recommendations, and I would advise that you make at least 2 out of 3 of them should be academic. Your HOD, your supervisor, your lecturer. If you can even get the VC of your school, perfect. Even if you want to use someone that knows you personally, let the person not be related to you. Let it not be your family member, because of course your family members have a lot of good things to say about you. So basically, it's just like when you're applying to get a job and it say you should send 3 referees. For me, I wanted a graduate assistantship, and then the program I was applying to, in the schools that I applied to 4 schools. I ensured that they were all offering that graduate assistantship. So I knew that these opportunities were available in that program, in that school. You need to make sure. And another thing I want to talk about is that why I actually wanted a graduate assistantship, because to me, I felt like it was an opportunity for me to get some work experience while I school. Because I was already a professional, I'm going to be spending 2 years doing a master's. What am I going to be doing in that 2 years? So this is the reason why I really wanted that fully funded offer and that graduate assistantship. If you're like me, you'd understand why that is important. So go to that program website, look at the requirements. If you need to do exams for it, if you need to save up for it, start saving up for it. The next application window, I mean, for this year, I feel like this year is already gone, but there are some schools that their deadline is still like this month and next month. You can check them out, but I would always tell people that the best time to apply for schools is from November to January. That is the application window, especially if you're looking out to get a fully funded offer. That is the period you should look out. So you can start like preparing now, start saving, and look at fall 2024. Like you have enough time, like there's enough time to do that. Like save up, prepare, write any exams you need to write. You can start now. Like you can literally start now. Okay, so you're on this program's website, you want to study public health, for instance. Same way with me, I wanted to study communications. I went to the program website, I checked the requirements. You need to write a statement of purpose, you need recommendation, you need IELTS. Look at all of that. There is an application button on every program website, and it's going to take you to a place where you have to like fill like a kind of form, submit your IELTS results, submit your recommendations or your referee's email address, and sometimes you need to submit recommendation letters. Other times you just need to like put the email of your recommendation, your referee, and then they are going to contact your referee to actually find out, to send them a form or send them some kind of like e-form, or give them an opportunity to send those letters to them. So those are the things you need to do. Basically, it's easy. I don't want people to think that this is some kind of like rigorous process that they cannot do on their own. That's a myth. I don't want to take food out of the agent's mouth, but you can do this on your own. Trust me, if I did it on my own, you can do it on your own. All you need to do is to plan ahead, be strategic. What else? Go for the best. Go for the best for yourself. Do not cut corners. If the school wants an IELTS, please write an IELTS. If the school says they can't, if the school says 3 recommendation letters, don't send 2. Don't use your friend as a referee. Do not cut corners, because when you cut corners, you reduce your chances of getting admission or getting funding. So if you're going to do it well, give it your best shot, and it's going to work out. So basically, application stage, you need to meet the requirements, apply online, and after that, when you've gotten your admission, some schools would want you to apply for graduate assistantships while you're applying for admission. Some schools, after they've given you admission, is when they now ask you to apply for graduate assistantships. So it's either when you get the admission, you get the funding, along with the admission, or you have to apply for the funding after the admission or while you're applying for the admission. Either ways, once you get your admission, you might be required to like interview for graduate assistantship position. So when you've gotten your admission and you've gotten like a fully funded offer, then only then can you move towards the visa application stage, basically. And that's like a different stage entirely, guys. Like, there's so much to say about that stage, but one thing I would tell anyone: make sure that you have everything you need and you have enough time to apply for your visa, especially if you live in Nigeria or in Africa. So after you've gotten your admission, you've gotten your funding opportunity, so your funding offer rather, the next stage is the visa process, applying for a US visa, basically. And to do that, you need what is called an I-20. For me, when I had gotten my admission offer and I gotten my funding offer, the next stage was for me to apply to get my visa. And to do that, I needed what is called an I-20. So an I-20 is a document from your school which you would use to apply for a visa, and that document contains like your information, the fact that you've gotten your admission. It contains like your program start and end date. It contains details about your funding offer or your admission, how much you're required to pay, and also sometimes, or most of the time, for you to get that I-20 from a school, if you do not have any kind of funding or scholarship, you need to give them a bank statement that shows that you can pay these school fees and shows that you can afford the living expenses. So they are going to calculate how much your 2 years program costs, or sometimes they do it by year on year or yearly. Your first year program, how much it's going to cost, and then how much your living expenses, because they don't want you to come to the US and start, they want to know that you coming to the US, you can afford to pay your school fees, you can afford to pay rent for yourself, and you can actually live, like you have the money to actually take care of yourself. They don't want you to come to the US and be stranded. So they will calculate, your school is going to calculate how much your education is going to cost, and they're going to put that in your I-20. So that I-20 then is what you're going to use to apply for your visa, basically. So if you do not present a bank statement, you probably wouldn't get an I-20. And also, that same bank statement is what you need. You need at least 6 months, a 6-month bank statement that shows that you have enough money in your account or in your parents' account to show that you can afford to pay your fees, your tuition, your living expenses, and you're going to take that to the visa officer and show it to them. But then if you have a fully funded offer, you don't need to worry about that. Your school is not going to ask you for a bank statement. The most important thing for those who are still like beginning this process think about is finding a good school, at least 4 or 5 good schools. Sometimes you don't even need up to 4 or 5 schools. You just need like 3 good schools. Make sure you meet the requirements. Make sure you write a very good statement of purpose. Pay the visa fee, pray about it, hope to get your admission. Make sure that the schools you're applying to, if you cannot afford to pay the fees, or you can't afford to finance your education abroad, make sure that the schools you're applying to, that they have funding opportunities, and apply to these schools. Like I say, you can do it on your own. I would tell you that the 2 resources that would help you in this journey is Nairaland. I'm sure some people have forgotten about Nairaland. Nairaland has a lot of resources. You can find communities. For me, during my visa process and during my admission process, I was part of a lot of communities on WhatsApp, on Telegram, where I got a lot of information that I needed. I could ask questions, and people who had gone through the process like a year before me or were still in the process, I could get help from. I could get answers to my question. Twitter is also a very good space. There are lots of people, I wish I can start mentioning all their names, that can help you or can give you insights. There are detailed threads on Twitter about how to write a statement of purpose. There are detailed threads about how to apply to a school. Like, there's so much resources online, and you just need to do your research. Just type masters in the US and put the course that you want to do. A lot of schools will come up for you. Go through the website, go through the program website, look at the requirement, look at the program outcomes. What is going to, like, people who have studied this course, what did they go on to become? What kind of fields they work in? Those are the things you need to know for you to, like, think about, okay, is this like the right program for me, or do I need to check out some other school? You know, things like that. Whatever you're currently doing, it has to tally with what you're trying to study. But then not in all cases, but in most cases, that has to be the case. You can't be a teacher and you're saying you want to further your studies in IT. They're going to ask you, why do you suddenly want to be an IT professional? Where is an experience or some kind of like internship that you have done in IT, or a volunteer work you've done in IT? What's the proof that you're not just trying to just run away to like the US with this on the guise of education? So that's something you have to keep at the back of your mind. So if you know you want to pursue a particular part, then you need to start gaining the experience, or trying to, you know, find a way to volunteer, so you have at least 6 months, 1 year experience under your belt. And then, you know, when you finally meet the US consular on your visa application day, they would see reasons as to why you want to further your studies in this part or in this program, and you're not going to look like you're just trying to japa or run away. Thank you guys for watching my YouTube channel. I'm so happy, and I hope you enjoyed this video. And don't forget to put in the comment section what you'd like me to talk about next, or what next you like me to like give more details about. I'm here for you, and I'm just grateful for you watching. Don't forget to like, don't forget to subscribe, share with your friends and family. Someone might actually need this video. You do not know who you're helping, so make sure you share this video as well. And until next time, it's your girl